Hello and welcome to pmclounge.com. Today we are discussing the manage quality process, a new process introduced in PMBOK 6. As always, if you are into reading articles, first link in the description will take you to an entire exhaustive article on this process, manage quality process. Also, second link in the description is the playlist of all the videos that we have done on the quality management knowledge area. So that being clear, that being said, let's get started and let's get deep into the manage quality process. So first of all, where are we? So manage quality process, it was introduced in PMBOK's edition 6, as I mentioned, and this process replaced the perform quality assurance process. So there used to be a perform quality assurance process in the world with PMBOK edition 5, but that has been replaced with manage quality process under the executing process group. Now, manage quality, the process of manage quality is also sometimes referred to as quality assurance. PMBOK guide also does that, but manage quality covers a broader area. And what all does it cover? That's exactly what we are going to deal with in this video. Let's take a look at the PGK mapping just so you can understand where we are in terms of the PMP courseware. So this is where we are, manage quality process in the executing process group under the quality management knowledge area. We have already covered plant quality management, like I mentioned. Second link in the description is the entire playlist of every single video that we have done on the quality management knowledge area. So do check that out. Let's move ahead. So let's introduce the manage quality process. And this is going to be a very important slide. If you miss something, if you don't understand this, stay on this slide, read through again, watch this slide again, because if you don't get this slide, then you'll not understand the rest of the video as well. All right, so since this is a new process, a quick disclaimer here, we will cover it entirely in a single video. So normally I cover one concept related to a process or a tool and technique or inputs, outputs, whatever. I cover usually one concept in one video. But since this is a new process, every single thing related to this process will be covered in this video itself. So you don't have to look around for stuff related to this process. You can do that for other processes. You're already aware of the concepts we have discussed. Head over to pmclounge.com for more. But everything related to managed quality process is available in this single video. So hope that is going to be helpful for you. If you're getting value out of this video, do hit the like button. It keeps us motivated. Let's move on. Now, first of all, this process is all about, and I'd like you to read this again and again, all about translating the quality management plan. There is a quality management plan, which is a sub plan of the project management plan. The quality management plan, it is created in the plan quality management process, which we have already covered. Second link, don't forget that. Now, it translates that plan into executable quality activities. So you have a plan for quality for your project. How do you translate into executing certain activities to, reach those quality levels? That is exactly what you do in the managed quality process. Now, in addition to that, it also incorporates the organization's quality policies into the project. So your quality management plan will have, the expectations, the quality expectations from the project, but your organization will also have certain quality expectations from your project. The managed quality process is not just translating your quality management plan into executable quality activities, but it is also making sure that the organization's quality policies are also incorporated into the project. Two very, very important things, and that's why I say you have to understand this before we can move further. Let's move on, and I hope you have understood it. If not, rewind and watch this part again. Now, this process helps in increasing the probability of meeting the quality objectives. Of course, that's true when you are going over the quality activities. You are performing quality activities, translating them from your quality management plan. You're also ensuring the organization's quality policies are part of your project, when you're doing all that, obviously you're increasing the probability of meeting the quality objectives, as well as identifying ineffective processes and the causes of poor quality. So throughout the life cycle of your project, when you're performing the managed quality process, you make sure you are increasing the probability of meeting the quality objectives, and you are also identifying two other things: ineffective processes and the causes of poor quality at the project or even at the product level. So very, very important. I hope it's clear what managed quality process does. And we have some more on this process in the next slide. So let's move there. Now, it should be noted that managed quality process actually uses the data and results from the control quality process, which will come next, right? So control quality is a process in the monitoring and controlling process group. Head over back to our PGKA mapping discussion, right? Control quality is actually the next process to represent the overall quality status of the project to the stakeholders, right? So your managed quality process is basically using data and results from the control quality process, and that way it helps in representing the overall quality status of the project to the stakeholders. So where does your project stand in terms of quality? That is what managed quality process helps in showing to your stakeholders, and it uses data and results from the control quality process while doing so. Now, control quality process, like I mentioned, it falls under monitoring and controlling process group, and the process that are listed in the PGKA mapping do not necessarily follow a sequence. So you cannot say, hey, how come we are using data and results from a process which we have not reached yet? Well, that's because the processes listed in PGKA mapping, they do not necessarily follow a sequence. In fact, managed quality is something that is performed throughout the project, right? So you will not wait in the when you're performing certain processes in the initiating process group, you'll not wait to reach the managed quality process to perform quality tasks, right? Managed quality, this is something which is performed throughout the project and falls under the conformance work in the cost of quality framework. So we have already discussed the cost of quality, cost of conformance, cost of non-conformance, right? Cost of conformance is where managed quality activities fall. All right, moving on. What is the difference between managed quality and quality assurance? Like I mentioned earlier, managed quality is the process which replaced the quality assurance process from PMBOK edition 6. Now, we did earlier touched on the fact that managed quality is also called quality assurance, but the focus of quality assurance is on the processes used in the project. So the focus of quality assurance has always been on the processes on the project, right? Processes used in the project. But managed quality, in addition to quality assurance activities, is also concerned with the product design aspects. It is also concerned with the process improvements, right? So while manage in quality assurance, you are only dealing with the processes that your project is using. In managed quality, you are also looking into product design aspects. And when we discuss the tools and techniques used in managed quality process, you'll have a better idea of what I'm talking about. Managed quality is also concerned with process improvements, and this is the major difference between managed quality and quality assurance. Before we move further, a quick reminder: all PMP courseware articles and videos, everything is available at this link, pmclounge.com/pmp training. Head over there, useful stuff. All right, now let's talk about the inputs, the tools and techniques, and the outputs of the managed quality process. Now, usually we don't really cover inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs, but we basically cover some of the important concepts out of these three in separate videos. We are covering it here, like I mentioned earlier, so that you don't have to look around for anything related to managed quality process, but you will also see how discussing separate concepts in separate videos helps us cover a lot of ground because the inputs of the managed quality process are something that you might already be aware of because we have already covered them in separate videos. Project management plan, we've already covered. Then you've got project documents, lessons learned, quality metrics, stuff like that. We have already covered this as well. Then you've got organizational process assets. This is also something that we have already covered. So these are the inputs to the managed quality process, and these are something that we have already covered. And that's the reason why I don't cover inputs, tools and techniques and outputs for every process, because that would be a mere repetition of these concepts which we have already covered in the past. All right, now let's look into the tools and techniques used in managed quality process. And this is going to be important, so do hang around. The first one is data gathering. Now, data gathering, it includes but is not limited to the use of check sheets. Check sheets or checklists are something that we have already covered. These are one of the 7 basic quality tools. In fact, third link in the description, I'll drop the entire playlist to the 7 basic quality tools. Now, many organizations have standardized checklists, right? So that they can ensure the consistency in the frequently performed tasks. So when you're gathering data, which is one of the tools and techniques of the managed quality process, you may have your organization may have a standardized checklist. They may give you 6 avenues to check for your data to be gathered. And usually all the projects, all the data that is required in all the projects for managed quality process is available at those 6 avenues. So many organizations, they do have standardized checklists. Now note that quality check sheets or checklists, like I said, these two are the same thing, should also include the acceptance criteria included in the baseline scope. When you have a scope baseline document, it also contains an acceptance criteria. And when you're gathering data, right, to manage quality, you should make sure that your checklist should also contain, should incorporate and include the acceptance criteria. You cannot have your own processes, you cannot have your own procedures and tactics to manage quality and not take care of the acceptance criteria of your project. So you need to make sure that you do cover that. And this is very, very important, specifically for organizations that have standardized checklists, because acceptance criteria might be different for every single project. And you need to make sure if your organization uses a standardized checklist to manage quality, you need to make sure that the acceptance criteria for your project is included there. So the next tool that we are discussing is data analysis, and it is actually as simple as it sounds. It basically is a combination of several techniques like alternative analysis, process analysis, RCA, or root cause analysis. Now these are some of the items, some of the concepts that we have touched in the past here and there, and these are fairly easy also. But let's talk about root cause analysis, because that's something which we have not covered in the past. So RCA is used to determine the underlying reason that causes a problem. If there is a problem, right? If you are feeling cranky, the underlying reason could be that you are hungry, right? So that's the root cause analysis. And if you could remove all the root causes of a problem, the problem wouldn't occur. So if you take some food, if you have some food before you start feeling cranky, then obviously the problem of feeling cranky will not occur at all. All right, the next tool is decision making. And again, just like data gathering, this is also what it sounds like. There could be several different kinds of decision making techniques though. So you may include several different kinds of decision making techniques. Some could be multi-criteria decision analysis. That means you base your decision on several criteria. Some could be project or product decisions, and also the group decision making techniques could be employed here. How many of you remember the group decision making techniques that we have discussed in the past? Plurality, majority, all that good stuff. So there are decision making techniques which could be employed to make decisions as to how the quality is being managed for your project. The other tool could be data representation. Now, data representation, it involves all the 7 basic quality tools which we have covered in the past. These this is the entire list: cause and effect diagram, flow charts, control charts, Pareto charts, check sheets, histogram, and scattered diagrams. Third link in the description. This is where we have discussed all 7 of them. A quick reminder before we move ahead: if you're looking for PMP book recommendations, head over to pmclounge.com/resources. That's where we have listed our favorite books and resources to prepare for the PMP exam and crack it at the first go. So the next tool is audits. Now, during the course of your project, of course, you'll encounter different type of audits. There could be procurement audit, there could be quality audit, and that is exactly what we are talking about, the quality audit. Now, this is a process used to determine if the project activities comply with organizational processes, policies, and procedures. Now, remember how in the beginning we talked about the functions of the managed quality process. It is important to convert your quality management plan, the expectations in your quality management plan, into executable quality activities. That was one of the functions of the managed quality process. The other was to make sure that your organizational quality policies and processes and procedures are also followed in your project. And that is exactly where quality audit comes into the picture. It is basically making sure, it is a process that is determining whether your project activities comply with the organizational quality policies, processes, and procedures. Now, typically, such audits are conducted by a team external to the project. So there could be a quality team external to your project which is going to do this audit. Some of the examples are actually organizations internal audit department. PMO might also be involved to do it, or even an auditor external to the organization might be employed to audit your project to make sure that your project followed the organization's policies, processes, and procedures when it comes to quality. So let's talk a bit more about audits. Once the audit is complete by an external auditor or your organization's internal auditor department, auditing department or audit department or whatever, or the PMO, whoever is responsible for auditing your project, once they are done with the audit of your project, they will give you an audit report. Now, this report will cite any non-conformances that your project has. Now, what are these non-conformances? So your organization has certain quality policies, procedures, and processes. Your project has been audited to make sure that those policies, procedures, and processes have been followed. If they are not followed, then you will receive non-conformances in the audit report. As and when you receive that report, your project team must work to address those non-conformances. You have to address them, you have to turn them into conformances. So that's the next course of action once the audit is complete. Now, the subsequent corrective effort, right? When you are converting those non-conformances to conformances, what is going to happen is it will result in reduced cost of quality for sure, and it will also increase the chances of customer acceptance. Your customer will have certain expectations of quality from your organization, and by following the organization's quality processes, policies, and procedures, you will definitely increase the chances of being accepted by the customer. Quality audits can be scheduled or they can be totally random. Second one is a nightmare for any project manager. Raise your hand if you have ever been through a random quality audit. All right, let's move on. The next tool and technique is DFX. This is design for X. Design for X. What is this? Now, this is a set of technical guidelines basically that may be applied during the design of a product. So when the product is being designed, there could be certain technical guidelines which might be applied to the product. Now, what are we talking about here? Now, this will help optimize a certain aspect of the design, the X. What is the X here? The X in DFX can represent reliability, deployment, manufacturing, cost, quality, anything, right? So if you're designing for, let's say, cost, the result could be that when you use DFX, when you design for quality, the result could be cost reduction. right? If you're designing for quality, the result could be quality improvement. The result could be better performance in general, right? So DFX basically means you are designing for a certain factor. That factor could be any of these, and the result could be any of these. So that's DFX, which is again a tool used in managed quality process. Let's talk about problem solving, and it is as simple as it sounds. It is all about finding solutions for project issues or challenges. How do you do that? So these are some of the steps. First of all, you define the problem. Secondly, you conduct an RCA, the root cause analysis. Then you come up with possible solution and any alternative solutions as well. Once you have done that, you then choose the best solution out of the lot. Then you implement the solution, and finally you verify its effectiveness. You verify the effectiveness of the solution. So that's problem solving for you. These steps are important. Certain times people do receive question in the PMP exam, and the question might be as simple as you have chosen the best solution of the problem. What is your next step? So the next step is definitely implementing the solution, right? So that's how PMP questions are made out of these concepts. Finally, the last tool is quality improvement methods. And PDCA cycle, Six Sigma, these are some of the common quality improvement tools. We have already discussed PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act, and Six Sigma in our previous videos as well. So these are typically used to analyze and evaluate opportunities for improvement. So these are the quality improvement methods that are employed, one of the tools and techniques of the managed quality process. Now, quality audits can also result in quality improvements, right? When you are being audited, you might come up with certain improvements suggested by the auditors, right? So these can also be quality audits, can also be one of the quality improvement methods. What are the outputs of this process? Again, we will not go in detail. We have already covered them in the past, but the first one is something which we will talk in detail, which are the quality reports. And this is the major output of the managed quality process. Now, this can be graphical, this can be numerical, this can be qualitative as well. The information in the quality reports can be used for process improvement, or by other departments to take corrective actions to achieve project quality expectations. So once the quality report is generated, other departments can also make use of it to take corrective actions, and it can also be used by the project team for process improvements. The information in this report, what is actually the content of this report? It includes process, it includes project and product improvements. Improvements for all three: process, project, and product. Corrective action recommendations and summary of the findings of the control quality process. The entire process, what is the summary of the findings of that process, is included in the quality report. So this is a very important report. This is a very important document generated in your project, and I have seen project sponsors asking for quality reports. So very important, something that you should definitely uh, go over, and something that you should definitely follow and make sure is up to the mark. Test and evaluation documents. What are some of the testing and evaluation which have to be performed in the project? That is an output of the managed quality process. Change requests, and of course document updates for project management plan, project document. They also receive certain updates after a lot of processes in the PGKA mapping. So that's all that we had in this video. Do hit the like button. It keeps us motivated. If you have enjoyed and learned manage quality process, do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified whenever we upload new content. And as always, don't forget to check out the website pmclounge.com, your number one free PMP resource. Thank you.